Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Build Battles on the Hypixel Creative Server. In this episode we have Legend Site against Quicko12300. The theme is a tropical beach. Ooh, there's some serious smack talking sort of going on. Okay, here we go. 3. I did it wrong. Broadcast.
All the bragging rights are on
3,
the line.
2, 1, go! 15 minutes on the clock. And they are off. Quicko has already begun by breaking some blocks. Legend Site seems to be taking his merry
Oh, he gave him a 10-second head start because he started too early.
Yes, we had a little bit of a false start with Legend before we started recording. So and he's off. He's going with it.
Wow. Overtaking him already.
Do you want to let Ozzy know that World Edit will be allowed in the next round? The theme is Tropical Beach. So, we already seem to be having a lot of terraforming that is going to happen in this build, which I would generally expect. Would you say the same?
Yep. I expected more sand though. Strange they're going for grass.
Let's do plot me biome jungle.
So you could set it to beach biome.
Oh, we could set it to beach biome. Plot me
Not quite as nice
biome
the grass, but
beach. Let's go back to jungle.
yeah.
We're gonna keep it jungle. Okay. I'm going to allow them to use World Edit since they both have access to. So, let's see. SB broadcast. World Edit is now allowed for the competing builders. So we'll see how they go about using World Edit and if it'll end up benefiting them or if they will unfortunately fall plight to the overuse of World Edit. So, I mean, we have Golden Miner and Ozzy from the last build battle complaining that they didn't use World Edit. But if you remember correctly, I never said that they couldn't use World Edit before. So, that is their own fault. But we have a massive amount of people flying around here. We have a lot of... Oh, I have seen some sand. There is sand in play. Quicko has included sand in his build. I think we have a winner. This is over.
Automatic win.
Yep. I think we're going to go with that. I believe Legend seems to be going... I think he's going to go with more of an island itself. While Quicko is actually going with just simply a beach. We'll see how they follow through on these ideas as we continue. We are already through the first... Oh, geez, if I don't fly behind a cobble wall so you guys can see. We are already through the first 3 minutes of the competition, down to 11 minutes and 49 seconds. So we are going, and it seems that Legend Site is going to be going with a much taller island, which may or may not work in his favor. Since we are going with a beach here, it might not be the best.
What do you guys think? Or a tropical island?
It can be a beach, but generally beaches tend to have a shallower area, and especially in this space, it might hinder him. Quicko seems to be taking it very literally, working in his sand and going with a general beach that you would normally see.
Legend Site is a speed terraformer.
Oh yeah,
Look at him go.
Look at all that clicking. I'm surprised neither of our competitors have used any world edit so far, and generally world edit tends to be a quicker way to rough in some terraforming. We are getting close to the 10-minute mark here. So SB broadcast, 10 minutes remaining.
Hopefully we'll see some trees on this one.
Oh yeah. Well, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, Silver likes trees. Sometimes I worry that he likes trees a bit too much, if you know what I'm
You
saying.
never have too many trees. Well, you can. You can.
Oh, and we have our first introduction of water, and we are down to the 10-minute mark in 3, 2, 1. 10 minutes remaining. Legend Site has introduced our
first use of world edit too.
Yes, we have our first use of world edit and our first use of water used by Legend Site. Quicko seems to be taking a very different approach and still going by hand, placing that water in.
Should I remind him?
I think he knows. I mean, you could remind him, but I think he knows that he's allowed.
All right, I won't
We shall
remind
see,
him then.
though. I think he might be thinking about it for his structures, because isn't he the one who asked in the first place?
I believe so, actually.
So, we have a... Oh, Legend Site seems to be under his island. I'm not sure what he's going for here. Is he really going to fill it all in? He seems to be filling...
He's probably going to change the grass to sand with world edit.
Ah, then maybe that's a possibility. Okay. Now if I could get back out of here, we can take a look back over at Quicko and what he's doing. He seems to be adding a second layer of sand. He seems to have done a very good job of dividing his plot in half with this beach. I'd like to see what he does on the upper portions of the beach.
I just got kicked off
Sorry,
creative.
Silver.
And Antarctic accidentally kicked Silver Leopard from the server. Oh, we have a major world edit error that has just happened. Legend Sites world edited in some sand, and he seems to have undone that very quickly. Wondering how he will continue. If somebody would quick... Oh! And another laying down of sand. It seems that this time he's going to go with it and just fill it in by hand at this point. If somebody would kick Esteban, that would be awesome, because he is distracting our builders. Thank you.
Oh, that might have... Was that the right person?
Yes, that was him.
Okay.
And Quicko is still doing everything by hand. I'm not sure why he doesn't use the simple /fill command. It would save him plenty of time, since we are already down to 7 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Maybe we should give him a little reminder. Quicko is placing like crazy, though. Oh, I see some wood. I see some wood, Silver. Silver, I think Silver will like this.
Ah, good.
I think Silver has already picked a winner. This is a very interesting shaped tree, though, that we have going on here.
Not sure. Not sure. We'll see how it goes.
Hopefully he will go back and do a little bit of refining of that. It seems that Quicko is still filling in everything by hand.
Quicko's not very quick.
Yeah, his name is a bit deceiving, I must say. We are down to 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining approximately. And I think this is about time that all of the builds are being refined, that we can take a look at the arena to appreciate the building that has gone on here. As you can see, there are 3 layers of depth in many portions of our build arena, including the towers and the walls of the arena itself. Now, this build arena was graciously built by our friend Hyperbugler, who
our great friend.
who has done a wonderful job of building.
Well, that's an interesting tree.
Would anybody like to
Nice one,
comment
Hypixel,
on
yeah.
the depth and detail on the walls or the build arena?
Sucks.
uh,
I'm just kidding.
well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It seems we have a phone call, and it seems that Legend Site has a very oddly scraggly shaped tree going on. It honestly seems a little even at this point, depending on what happens in the last 5 minutes of the build battle here. Remaining in 3, 2, 1, and 5 minutes remaining on this build battle, this second round. You know, the middle pathway here almost forms a nice little dock as going across these islands. We could take a look at them. So, we seem to be having some lounge chairs placed down by Legend Site. Maybe I will take a little seat on one of these here. Maybe sip some milk while I sit here.
I want to see a hut.
Yeah, it seems that Quicko is building a little bungalow here, and we'll see how that goes in his last minutes of building. This tree is still seeming a little scraggly from Legend Site, and he has added no leaves, which is rather unfortunate. Silver, do you have anything to say about that?
He needs leaves.
Well, I
That's
think that
about
was
it.
I think that was pretty clear.
Oh, my ears.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, what kind of tree is this? Not a palm tree.
It's not a palm tree, that's for sure.
And not an oak tree because it's jungle wood, so
I guess it's a jungle tree. I think he's going for a tropical tree since that is our theme of Tropical Beach.
true. Although I wouldn't expect to see particularly large tropical trees on a beach, more palm trees.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Our little bungalow over here. Oh, we have the addition of what seems to be a palm tree. Quicko is building our first actual palm tree. It seems to be very stereotypical. If you have ever played the Tropicraft mod, or I believe, is it Natura that also has palm trees built in maybe? Has some interesting shaping. Though, at this size, I think it is relatively nice. Any comments on that?
The trunk is a little bit off, but I like it.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, I like that.
Let me.
Too symmetrical.
It is a bit symmetrical, though. Palm trees tend to have a decent amount of symmetry as well. He seems to be adding another. The trunk is differently shaped, which I must give him props on. That is not the same. I almost would have expected somebody to put in an acacia tree and maybe replace the logs, because it could be a simple way to make a okay looking palm tree. Oh, we seem to be having some leaves added in by Legend here as we make our way down to the close to the 1 minute and 30-second point. I'm going to, as we get closer, give them another warning at 1 minute. But we seem to be having some nice builds built on this time. Are we seeing who we might think is a winner at this point?
I'm not sure. It's actually pretty close between them. For right now, I'd have to go with Quicko, though.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I thought that Legend was going to have a very nice build as he was doing his terraforming so quickly, but with that world edit of the sand in, it seemed to hinder his progress.
I'd like to see it maybe on a couple of layers rather than just smacked on one side.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, we are down past the 1 minute mark. I'm going to give them the 30 seconds. Broadcast 30 seconds remaining.
I have to dash. I am going to message you
Silver's
my...
going to be leaving. As of right now, would you like to give a vote, Silver?
Yeah, I will message you so you can use it at the end.
Okay, well, bye, Silver.
Yeah, I'll be here muted.
Okay. So, we are down past the 30-second mark. It seems that Legend Site thinks he's completed. So, we have 3, 2, 1 second remaining. Broadcast stop. Stop your building. Stop your building. Stop. Stop your building. The time is over. So, Antarctic, who do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with Quicko.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that. So, Silver's vote doesn't seem to really matter, but I'm sure he will give us something in a moment. But we will announce the winner right now. So, again, thank you for watching. If you disagree with us, please feel free to let us know in the comments, or tell us a little bit of what you would have done in a build battle. If you would like to compete in one of these build battles, please feel free to join the Hypixel Creative Server, which you can get to from the main Hypixel Network. So, I'm going to leave it here with Quicko as our winner, and I will see you next time with the championship round between Ozzy and Quicko. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.